Okay, so you're tired of the 9 to 5 grind, or like me, you were laid off, and now you're ready to call your own shots. But listen, becoming a solopreneur, I know it's exciting, but let me also be real. It can also feel very overwhelming at times. Ask me how I know. Just quitting your job cold turkey isn't the best move, and burnout is a real risk if you don't transition the right way. But here's the good news: you don't have to go from employee to overworked solopreneur overnight. I want you to follow these 5 simple steps in this video to make a smooth and stress free leap into solopreneurship. Let's go. Okay, let's start off with step number 1. You want to validate your idea before you leap. This one is huge. I see way too many people get a good idea, or they think it's a good idea. They get excited about the idea, and then they jump right in. The first thing you want to do is test before you invest. Too many people just quit their jobs before knowing if their idea is actually going to make money, or they've already quit their job, they're already laid off, and they just jump in uh, with both feet, cold. Not a good idea. Here's what I want you to do instead. If you're still working, start a side hustle. Just starting your side hustle is going to teach you so much about things like branding and marketing and sales and pricing and client acquisition. It's going to be a master class in just getting started with the business. And it's going to tell you right off the bat, does anybody even want what I'm trying to sell? Better find that out now before you quit your job. But how do you test this idea of yours? Well, the first thing is offer a beta version. Offer a beta version of your service or product to real customers. Let them know, hey, I'm testing this out. This is a pilot. This is a beta. Would you be interested? Try and do that at maybe a discounted price just to let people know, hey, this is cheaper than it would be so that you can charge full price later on. But it also lets you know, hey, are people even interested in paying for this, even at a discounted price? Do they see value in what I'm selling? And can I attract clients with this? If you do attract clients or customers, you want to get early feedback. This is your whole point of doing this beta or this pilot. What is working with my product or service? What is not working with my product or service? What questions are people asking? Where is there still holes that I need to fill? The whole idea here, get feedback and test whether this is something that people actually see value in. So here's what this could look like for you. If you're looking to jump into solopreneurship as maybe a coach or a freelancer, just try taking on 1 or 2 clients on the side while you're still employed. Maybe this is evenings, maybe this is weekends. Again, you're going to learn a ton, you're going to refine your product or your service, and you're going to learn so much about business fundamentals, branding, marketing, sales, whatever. Okay, step number 2, before you jump, secure a financial runway. Listen, once you make that leap, cash flow is king. It doesn't matter how many clients you have or how high priced of a service you have. If you don't have money coming in as quickly or quicker than it is going out, you're going to run into tough times pretty quick. And you don't want to be making desperate business decisions because you're short on cash. You want to plan ahead instead. Well, what does this look like? Well, my recommendation would have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved up before you quit your 9 to 5 job. When you're first starting, keep your startup costs low. Don't spend thousands on things like branding before you even have clients. Get the cash flow coming in first and then determine how much can I reinvest back into my business. As your client base grows, your investment back into your business can grow, but start small. Another thing you can do is find ways to earn other money while you're building. If you don't have enough cash coming in right off the bat, either don't quit your full time job yet or have something else small on the side, maybe a part time job or something that helps pay the bills just to take some of that extra pressure off as you're trying to grow the business. Trust me, nothing is worse than having to make rash decisions because you need the money. It is going to lead to short term gain, but long term pain. Trust me, I've been there. It's not fun. Step number 3, build a simple offer that solves a real problem. I know it sounds basic, it sounds like common sense, but this is something I see all the time. So many solopreneurs overlook this or don't do this well. Remember, people pay for solutions, not ideas. So before you go ahead and spend months building a fancy website or a logo, focus on solving a real problem for a specific group of people. Both of those things have to go together. A real problem that people see value in and they would pay money to have solved for a specific group of people. The more you can specify this on what the problem is and who you solve it for, the better. If you're too generic and you try to appeal to everybody or you try to solve too much of a generic problem, you're going to have a really hard time cutting through the noise and really differentiating yourself and speaking to your ideal client. So, what does this look like? First, define your niche. Who do you help and how do you help them? Get crystal clear on that, and the more specific, the better. Create one core offer. Keep it simple. If you've got all kinds of different offers out there, people are going to run into analysis paralysis. They're not going to know which one to go. It's going to be too much information for them, and they're not going to choose you. One clear offer. You can expand a little bit from there and maybe have a premium one and a tiered down version, but start with one core offer. What do you do? From there, you can just set up a basic landing page. No need for a super complicated website at this point. You can do this really simply on things like Squarespace or Card. Makes it really easy. You don't have to be a web designer, but just have one basic landing page that now lays out what you do, who you do it for, what's the problem you solve, what are the benefits of solving that problem. Okay, this brings us to step number 4. Create a routine that prevents burnout. Assuming you've gone through steps 1, 2, and through 3, you've tested this out, you've now left your job, you've got cash flow coming in, you've got one core offer, and you're getting clients coming in. Great. Now you want to create this routine for yourself. One of the biggest problems I ran into when I left corporate life and jumped into a solopreneur role was I went from having a very structured, busy calendar. Every single week, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I knew what meetings I was supposed to be in, when I was supposed to have certain reports done. My days and my weeks were very structured. Suddenly, here I am starting my own business with an open calendar. Sounds very freeing. It sounds like you've got all kinds of flexibility, but there's no structure. And that can easily go sideways on you. Trust me, again, I know what I'm talking about here. So, you want to create yourself a routine that prevents burnout. What does that look like? Remember, you're your own boss now, so don't be a terrible one. Without structure, solopreneurs often work way more hours than they did at their jobs. So, here's how you can avoid burnout. 1, set clear work hours. This is especially important if you do your work from home. It's very easy to have home life and work life blend in together when you don't have clear boundaries. If you can, go work somewhere else. Maybe you could work at a coffee shop or from a temporary work location or something. But having that differentiation between home and work is great, but still adhere to the hours. I'm going to start work at 7 a.m., I'm going to stop work at 3 p.m., or whatever works best for you. But pick it and stick to it. Now that you've got your work routine scheduled down, schedule your downtime. What is that going to look like? When am I going to do the stuff that is working on me? Maybe that's reading, maybe that's praying, maybe that's meditating, maybe that's working out, maybe that's going for walks. Whatever it is for you, schedule it and stick to that. Super, super important. And lastly, focus on one thing at a time. Remember, you're starting a business, so you're going to have to be wearing many hats. There's branding, marketing, sales, client acquisition. There's working with clients if you're a freelancer or a coach. There could be building if you're building courses or software or SaaS or something like that. There is so much to do. Pick one thing at a time. What is the most important thing I can be doing right now that's going to move the needle? If you've already built something, don't spend your day tweaking it. Now you need clients. Go off and do marketing and sales. If you haven't fully built this thing out yet, work with clients to get feedback, make your tweaks then, but really refine the thing. But don't spread yourself all over the place. Look at what is the most important and urgent thing that I need to do today that is going to move my business. And that's how you spend your time. If you get a bunch done on that or you get it completed, great. Now I can take some other fun stuff, maybe that I want to work on and throw it in there. But high priority, urgent stuff first. Okay, this brings us to step number 5. Focus on consistent action, not perfection. Remember, it's progress over perfection. I've seen way too many solopreneurs fall into this trap where they don't release something, whether that's a post, whether that's a product, whether that's an offer, until they think it's perfect. With that mentality, you'll be sitting there forever. There is no such thing as perfect. Good enough Get it out there, test it, tweak it, get feedback as you go. The biggest solopreneur killer is overthinking. So instead of waiting until you have the perfect website, brand, or business plan, take messy action. Your first version of anything is not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Learn from real customers. That's the goal. Get something in front of real customers to get their feedback. It doesn't matter how great you think it is. The only thing that matters is what do my ideal customers or clients think. So get it in front of them as soon as you can, get real feedback, and then show up consistently. Business momentum builds over time. I see way too many solopreneurs that come in out of the blocks. They're going gung ho 12-hour days every single day, 6, 7 days a week, and then they burn out after a couple months. Remember, stick to your time frames. What are my work hours? What are my me hours? And just stick to it consistently. If every single day you're sticking to your hours and you're working on the most high priority, move the needle stuff, and you just put that in consistently, you might not see massive results right off the bat, but it's going to compound over time. Trust me on that. Okay, some final thoughts on this. One, you've got this. Listen, transitioning from employee to solopreneur isn't about making a blind leap. It's about taking strategic steps that set you up for long term success. If you follow these 5 steps, you'll be in control of your time, your income, and your future without burning out in the process. And listen, if you ever want help making the transition smoother, you can always book a one on one coaching call with me. I'll put the link in the comments here, but you got this. Just go for it.